Hello, in this video what I would like to show you is this device here. This is a sander thicknesser, and I found this to be very useful in making bows. Let me explain what it does first. This is a bow which I made from hickory and ash. The back of the bow is hickory, and that piece of hickory is 3mm thick. The core of the bow, the ash core, is 10mm in the middle, and that tapers down to 2mm at the end. And on the belly of the bow we also have another piece of hickory, and this is 2mm. To achieve that, to get the wood parallel 2mm all the way and smooth, is quite a task if you're doing it by hand. It is possible, it can be done that way if you wish, but this machine makes the whole job much easier. When you combine the sander thicknesser with a sledge, an adjustable sledge this is, you can also make the core of the bow, and you can give that uniform taper from the 10mm in the middle to the 2mm at the far end. That's done using one of these. This is a sledge. Just as an example, let's say that this is a piece of wood that you want to take down to, say, 3mm. Say it's a piece of hickory, you want to take that down to 3mm. Essentially you would stick that on your sledge, you keep hold of it here or clamp it on. You'd adjust this table. This table on the sander thicknesser moves up and down. It's held in place by this, and it would have a locking nut on here. And then once this thing is powered up, you'd simply pass the sledge through it, and it's going to sand that wood down to whatever thickness you've set the table to. There are some plans on how to make one of these on the Anfield Archery website, and you can download those and you can make one. Just to go over this in a little bit more detail, as you can see, it has a dust hood, which is very important because these things do kick out a lot of dust. It has the adjustable table, and if we take that off, we can see it has a drum, sanding drum, and that's essentially made out of some MDF. I'll show you how to make that. And it has a couple of bearings on either side and a rod coming through the middle. Very simple to make, very useful for making the laminates to make this type of bow. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up and show you how I power it, and then I'll briefly show you how it's used. As I say, if you want to build one for yourself, there are plans. There's a link in the description below here which will take you to the Anfield Archery website, where you can download the plans, and you can muck about with them and get them the way you want it to be and make one for yourself. Okay? So this is the machine in place, set up and ready to use. And I'll just go around it and show you how this is actually put together. To power it, using this flatbed sander. Now this has got a 350 watt motor on it. I've tried powering this in the past with a 250 watt motor, and it really didn't have the kick necessary to take some of the wood down. So anything like a 350 watt motor or upwards is probably enough to actually do the job. It's connected to that by a couple of pulleys and a fan belt. I'll just go around the back. As you can see, the back of this sanding device used to have a sanding disc on it. It now has a pulley. This has been arrowdited on and bolted in, so it's fairly secure. It has just an ordinary car fan belt going up to the pulley on the sander thicknesser itself, and that is going to power the machine. Now, I'll come back around the front. I've set this up on like a workmate type of thing, and the reason for that is, well, first of all, the sander thicknesser itself is attached only to the front table part, and the actual sander, with a motor is attached to the back part. What that means is when we turn these handles on the front of the thing here, we can alter the distance between these two and thus alter the tension on the belt, or set it up so that we can take the belt off altogether and just use this machine. So there it is. As you can see, it has the hoover, which is now coming out the top of it, and that's just going down to my hoover down here. Essential. These things kick out a fantastic amount of dust, so you definitely want a dust attachment on there if you're thinking about making one. Another thing about it is that the drum, the sanding drum, is going to spin towards you this way when you put that on, and therefore when you put any wood into it, it's always going to have the tendency to fire itself back out. So you have to keep hold of the wood all of the time. The adjustable table you can see here, this can freely move up and down, and it has this to adjust it to get it to exactly the right sort of depth. So that's the machine set up and ready to go. As I mentioned earlier, we'd use a sledge. We would put the sledge through here and maybe take a number of passes. We don't want to take a lot of wood off all in one go. We take a number of passes through until we get it to the right sort of depth. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is set the camera up on its tripod again, and I'm just going to show you the thing working. So there it is. The whole thing is now set up and ready to go, and we're just going to, I'll show you how it works. I'm just going to sand this little piece of scrap wood down with it. For that I'm going to use this sledge. As I say, we're going to do a build along to show you how to make one of these sledges. They're very important to get the tapers in the wood correctly, and they're not very difficult to make, so I'll make one over the next few weeks, and I'll do a little video build along with it. Now, we put the sledge in the machine like this, and we can then alter the height of that towards the drum, just so that it bites the wood. We don't want it, we don't want to be taking too much off there. That's pretty good. That's got a fair sort of bite. I'll take it up just a couple of notches. Now I'm going to switch this on, put this wood through it, and it's going to make a racket. It makes quite a noise, so I'll just overlay some music as it's actually doing it. The thing that you should know is the wood is going in like that, and as I say, the drum is spinning this way. If you leave go of that wood for a second, it's going to shoot out of there at some velocity. So be very careful with it. Here we go. I'm going to put that in there, pull the sledge back a bit, get it just more or less in place, keeping it in place with my thumb, and I'm going to switch this on. When the hoover starts up, the machine itself starts up. See the sand coming up here. Just want to take that slowly. Now obviously you can measure that, see if it's anywhere, like you need it to be. If not, give it another couple of cranks up. The thing is with it, I wouldn't take too much off at any one time. It's going to slow the motor down. It'll take off, I don't know, maybe half a mil at a time without much trouble. So I've moved the table up just a touch more, and I'll just run through that again, show you what's happening here. So we've got it just sort of into position, switch the hoover on. excellent machine. As I say, the plans are on the AnfieldArchery.com website. You can download this. There's a little bit more right up there about it, and obviously there's the video. That's an excellent tool. Over the next couple of weeks we'll make one of these to go with it, and then we're going to move on to some videos, and I'll show you how to make a form. Form is necessary for gluing the bow together, obviously, into the given shape or profile, and we'll also look at building a tillering stick. And when we've done all of that, then we should have all of the tools ready to start making some bows. Okay?